deal with Disney, Amazon Prime, and NBC for $200 million a year. The players also cited higher television ratings, attendance figures, and franchise values for opting out. Stop right there. Stop right there. The players are absolutely right. They only get 10% of basketball-related income compared to the 50% that the NBA players get. Players citing higher television ratings.
Fans are going wild after Caitlin Clark just arrived in Europe. Clark is making waves across the basketball world as she steps into the EuroLeague, and fans are buzzing with excitement. After signing a multi-million-dollar deal, the star point guard is set to bring her electrifying style of play overseas, and WNBA fans can't get enough of it.
A long list of common complaints and unreasonable demands. As predicted countless times right on this channel, WNBA players, they are trying to exploit the popularity of Caitlin Clark. They are presenting this myth that the entire WNBA is popular, the entire WNBA is in the mainstream, instead of presenting the reality that it's just one player. During the off-season, WNBA players, they're going to use the popularity of Caitlin Clark to force Kat Engelbert to acquiesce to their unreasonable demands. And what will happen if Kat Engelbert refuses to make a bad business decision? What will happen if Kat Engelbert refuses to raise the minimum wage? Normal people across America will finally have their prayers answered. The 2025 WNBA season, next season, it will be canceled.
For years, playing overseas has been a rite of passage for many WNBA players. Players often take their talents abroad after the WNBA season wraps up. Once the summer league ends, these athletes don't just kick back. They're packing their bags and heading to different corners of the globe for a fresh season in the fall and winter.
If the business aspect makes sense, we could lose more players to playing overseas, like Gabby kind of alluded to here. The commissioner told her that she could make $700,000 playing in the WNBA through marketing this and that. I don't know what Kathy was talking about, because even the highest paid player in the WNBA currently makes a little over $200,000 in salary, and then I don't know what the WNBA does with their marketing dollars, but it's definitely not going to equate to $700,000. And even our biggest star in the league, Caitlin Clark, is only making a base salary of around $76,000 or $78,000 for this first season. She signed a 4-year, just over $300,000 rookie salary. So Caitlin's rookie salary is a little over $300,000 for 4 years, and that's all that she's going to make in the WNBA. Now, I feel like there could be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer. I mean, Ice Cube was about to give her $5 million to play in less than 10 games in the Big Three. So the money is there, and if these owners are smart with it, I could definitely see more WNBA players going overseas and possibly not returning. There has been so much discussion about the discrepancy between the WNBA salary and the NBA salary, because as we all know, NBA players make millions and millions of dollars.
The financial incentive is hard to ignore. Players are drawn to the international scene not just for the love of the game, but also for the paycheck. The opportunity to earn substantial salaries overseas, often outpacing WNBA contracts, is a huge draw. For instance, while the WNBA's Supermax salary topped out at $228,094, top players can make around $1.5 million playing abroad.
Play during the regular season and then during their off-season play overseas. This is something that has been happening for like the entirety of the WNBA. It even went as far as to 1 year in 2015, Diana Taurasi played in Russia and did not play in the WNBA. And it was never outright stated that she didn't play in the WNBA, because Russia basically put that in their contract that if she went there, she couldn't play. But that was pretty much what everybody thought happened, because because Russia paid Diana Taurasi at that time $1.5 million salary to play in Russia. Now, at the time in the WNBA, the salary, like the highest salary in the league, was $107,000. So obviously that's a huge jump. Diana took that offer. She played overseas, and at that time she was also like hands down the face of the league. The WNBA was not as popular as it is now, but that was an opportunity that Diana took. And I feel like with the growing popularity of the WNBA and with players able to, you know, make money off brand deals and this and that, and their celebrity rising, there could be a world where more of these private owned EuroLeague teams, I could see some of these teams going after some of our star players in the WNBA. And if the money makes sense, if the business aspect makes sense, we could lose more players to playing overseas, like Gabby kind of alluded to here. The commissioner told her that she could make $700,000 playing in the WNBA through marketing this and that. I don't know what Kathy was talking about, because even the highest paid player in the WNBA currently makes a little over $200,000 in salary. And then I don't know what the WNBA does with their marketing dollars, but it's definitely not going to equate to $700,000. And even our biggest star in the league, Caitlin Clark, is only making a base salary of around $76,000 or $78,000.
But it's not all smooth sailing. Players often sacrifice quality time with family and miss out on holidays. It's a trade-off they accept in exchange for the chance to boost their bank accounts and enhance their skills on an international stage.
Talked about this through the entire season, and I'm glad that Allison came out and told us what was going on behind the scenes. But at the same time, it also made me sad because, like we've talked about in many other videos, Caitlin Clark, it seems like this entire season, she was the solution for so many things, but so many players, coaches, media people, so many people were also painting her out to be the problem. She could never do enough. She could never speak out enough. Her fans were the issue. Fever fans were the issue. Like, you know, there was all of this just nonsense about things that Caitlin was doing wrong, when in my personal opinion, she was doing nothing but going out there and playing great basketball every night and ignoring the hate that was coming to her from all sides, not only from fans, but from competitors, coaches, all of these people. And so the fact that she was getting all of that, yet all of these eyeballs were coming to the league because of her. The Indiana Fever was turning away games into home games every single time that they were on the road. You even had Dallas Wings players saying, like, it kind of sucks seeing so many Indiana Fever in 2020 or 22 jerseys in the stands, but it's also cool to see a lot of people in the stands. Like, Indiana Fever was turning away games into home games, and so it's kind of sad that through all of that, Caitlin was still advocating for players on the other team to get bonuses, because she saw the kind of money and eyeballs and viewership that all of this was generating. And so again, I'm glad that this is finally out there and it had its little viral moment so people can see. People don't always share all of the good things that they're doing, and Caitlin by no means had to do this. I'm maybe kind of glad that some players didn't get bonuses because of how poorly she has been treated this season. But the reason that these spot bonuses were not granted to opposing teams or whatever was also because of the CBA that is in place in the WNBA. Now, from my understanding, in a couple years, the CBA will be renegotiated again. So it will be interesting to see in a couple years if the viewership continues to trend in this direction. And, you know, I don't know if it will continue to only be kind of a Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever fan base that's really spiking up all the viewership, or if it will be a little bit more widespread with other teams. But if this all continues to grow, what kind of salaries will we be seeing in the WNBA? And will it be enough to keep players here full time? What Gabby Williams, to get back to the original point of this video, what Gabby Williams is saying about the WNBA, I hope is another wake-up call for them, because this season has been nothing short of a mess. Not only with the drama, the social media, the commissioner not saying the right things, coaches getting fired, the refereeing, like, it has been a mess. The statement from the WNBA PA that leaked the Defensive Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year awards to all the fans, trying to do like a clap. Like, there have been so many things, and I could have made a million videos about it, and I'm sure all of those videos would have done really well. And
as the WNBA season wraps up around September or October, players like Caitlin are swiftly transitioning to their new teams, which could be anywhere from Europe to Asia. These overseas seasons typically run from winter until early May, providing athletes with a continuous opportunity to showcase their talents.
It's anything that's out of the ordinary. Like, I feel like it's things rookies have faced their entire careers, the entire existence of the WNBA. But I don't know. I don't feel like any pressure to like take it to a place it's never been before. Like, I think that's just going to happen with the way, we're on TV more, with the way people are, following from the college game to the WNBA. I think expansion in the WNBA will certainly help. The more teams there are, I mean, it's the most competitive league in the world because there's not many spots. Like, there's 12 teams and not even every team carries 12 players. So I think that will certainly help. But you got to bring it every single night because it's the best of the best. And that's what I'm excited for. I think just going out there and like a lot of those people I idolized growing up. So it'll be fun.
During a news conference before the WNBA draft in April, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert highlighted the urgency for players to maximize their earning potential, given that the average career span in the league is less than 6 years. This reality makes each opportunity, like Clark's groundbreaking contract, even more crucial. Caitlin Clark's arrival in Europe isn't just another story. It's a signal of how the landscape of women's basketball is evolving.
I gotta be honest with you, a small part of me, a very small part, actually respects and admires the delusional confidence that WNBA players have in themselves. A small part actually respects the perceived value they have in themselves. Key word, perceived. There is a huge difference in perceived value and actual value. Unless you are in a position to determine your own value, it's usually determined by someone else. Your value is based on what someone else is willing to pay for your services. In order to be in a position to determine your own value, you have got to have something that WNBA players don't have: leverage. Dump divers, they think they have leverage. They think by threatening to cancel the season, they think by threatening to shut down the WNBA that gives them valuable leverage. When the reality is, it is the exact opposite. Most people, myself included, we would be absolutely thrilled if the WNBA ceased to exist. Last night, the WNBA Players Union, also known as the Solid Waste and Recycling Division of the Teamsters Union, the WNBA Players Union, they announced that they were opting out of the current collective bargaining agreement. They had until November 1st to make this decision, but being the starving minimum wage earners that they are, WNBA players, they decided to take the initiative to opt out 2 weeks early. The statement, it included a long list of common complaints and unreasonable demand.
With Caitlin Clark's rookie season wrapped up, fans were buzzing with anticipation about what comes next. Will she follow the footsteps of many WNBA players and head overseas for the offseason? It's a common route for athletes looking to boost their income and hone their skills. And given the circumstances, it makes perfect sense. Clark's impressive performance has put her squarely in the spotlight, but it's also reignited the conversation around pay equity in sports. Under her 4-year contract with the WNBA's Indiana Fever, Clark is set to earn $338,056. Meanwhile, last year's #1 NBA draft pick, Victor Wembanyama, secured a whopping $55 million over 4 years. It's a stark contrast, to say the least.
The players are absolutely right. They only get 10% of basketball-related income compared to the 50% that the NBA players get. Players citing higher television ratings, attendance figures, franchise values as the reason for opting out. Now, wait a damn minute. What have I been saying? I said Caitlin Clark, rising tide lifts all boats. As much as her presence was maximized by the WNBA, you players could have done more to assist it. I just spoke about Sue Bird over a week ago, and everybody talking about other WNBA players not being appreciated. Nobody insulted them. Nobody dismissed their contribution. We were simply saying, despite the contributions for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't care. Fair or not?
Just to put it into perspective, the NBA's lowest paid player rakes in over $1.1 million. That amount overshadows most WNBA salaries and highlights the growing gender pay gap in professional sports. Despite the WNBA's rising popularity and a record-breaking debut season for Clark, the league still struggles to match the financial clout of the NBA. Many WNBA players have to seek overseas opportunities during the offseason just to make ends meet. Given Clark's success, rumors are swirling that she might explore international options for a larger paycheck and more playing time.
And I think you talk about marketing the league and exposing people to it. I think that NBA players do probably as good of a job of anybody of showing tremendous respect for it. They're fans of the game. You'll see NBA players in the summer at games. They'll bring their families with them. You'll see them interacting with star WNBA players, and I think that has helped elevate the standing of the game and maybe opened it up to an audience that maybe wasn't going to be as accepting or hadn't given it a chance. Because if you watch that league at all, the quality of play is outstanding. I remember Rebecca Lobo talking about this when she started in that league. She's like, it wasn't a very good quality of play. Doris Burke will tell you that when she was covering it.
And with the kind of reputation she has gained, European teams will be offering her huge salary options to choose from. Interestingly, the 2024 NCAA Women's Basketball Championship game drew more viewers than the men's final for the first time ever, signaling a shift in audience engagement. Yet Clark, the standout star from that tournament, only earned about $84,000 a year as the top WNBA draft pick.
They would not send us those hoodies.
Yeah, really? but I explained to them, I said, you guys don't even use, our number one allies that have supported us from day one are the NBA players. I said, they tweet, they follow us, they come to our games, we don't highlight them. They are our number one allies. They have the most followers. You guys are targeting the wrong people.
It was definitely a damn moment when I heard like some of the uppers at the WNBA office.
Yeah.
You spoke to them yourself?
No, I didn't. This heard from a credible source, and they said that when we come to the games, they try not to put us on the telecast as much because they want it to be shown as a WNBA game. They want the girls to be shown, and they don't want to show us on TV as much.
Terrible idea. I disagree with that.
What was their response?
I disagree with that.
When you said this to the...
Because they've changed that.
As Caitlin Clark's name becomes a household one, she brings attention to a question that has plagued WNBA players, fans, and advocates for years as to why there is such a huge pay disparity between men's and women's basketball.
Until Caitlin Clark came along. Not only her, Angel Reese to some degree as well, but Caitlin Clark more so, and her and the combination of Angel Reese, it elevated television ratings, it elevated attendance, and it damn sure elevated franchise value. But now, something that y'all resisted talking about, opining about, acknowledging, now you want to come and say, let's opt out of the CBA because of those very, very things. You know what I would say to y'all? Then are you willing to admit how stupid it was for y'all not to go all in speaking your piece to elevate Caitlin Clark? So therefore even more attention could have come and y'all could have reaped the benefits? Now you're gonna do it anyway, and I get that, but you see my point? Higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it, but you didn't do it.
The conversation is far from over, and with stars like Clark leading the charge, the hope is that change is on the horizon. Caitlin Clark absolutely deserves more than what she's currently earning. As a legend at the University of Iowa, she made history as the NCAA's Division I all-time leading scorer, and her impact on women's basketball is undeniable. Her electrifying play has not only captivated fans, but also significantly increased interest and viewership in the game. But here's the thing, while Clark should absolutely be paid more, that doesn't mean she should be paid the same as men. And saying that isn't sexist, it's just reality. Yes, it's true that most fans, both men and women, tend to gravitate toward the NBA. When we compare WNBA salaries to NBA salaries, it's really not a match. The crux of the issue is revenue. The NBA generates a staggering amount more than the WNBA, and that's reflected in their contracts. For context, the WNBA's TV deal is worth $60 million, while the NBA's is a jaw-dropping $2.7 billion. But if the WNBA manage to keep hold of Clark, they will most likely get bigger endorsement deals as time goes on. Caitlin Clark is undeniably a huge reason why viewership is on the rise for women's basketball. Her talent, combined with her ability to draw in fans, puts her in a unique position to advocate for better pay and more recognition for female athletes. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and smash the notification bell. Thanks for watching.